Hi guys. Oh, second time I've had to do this, but oh well, it's neither here nor there. Hopefully, I look a little bit more well rested than I did the last couple of times I did this. 3 days off is so nice, and I still have tomorrow. Um, this week, last couple of weeks actually, have been completely and utterly terrible. Honestly, I thought I had bad weeks at this company before. I was so very, very wrong. But first, let's talk about good things. My eldest is doing 10 times better than he was before in school. And there's like this little application on my phone where I can track what he's doing throughout the day, which as a kid I would go, oh, okay, because yeah, privacy much. But what it is the teacher lists, what all he's doing throughout the day, like if he's reading or science, and tells me if it's good or if it's bad. So far, he has had a lot of positives. This last week, he had 1 mark against him, and he got talked to about that. But so far, he's been doing really, really well, and he's flourishing again. And that's just because they move so quickly from one thing to another. He doesn't really have time to get bored and start daydreaming. And the program is designed where kids pretty much teach each other. So if you miss a point that the teacher's giving you, because of course, adult thinking, kid thinking, I mean, there's a filter there that sometimes it's hard to breach. The kiddos will teach it to each other, which I completely am in love with that idea. Both of them are doing so well, and I am so very proud of them. And somehow, even with all the craziness of my workplace, I'm able to keep up with that and keep up with them and make sure that they're doing okay. I mean, really, in the end, that's what I'm mostly focused on. That and spending some time with my husband, which, even though he was suspended a couple of weeks ago, at least I've gotten more time with him. That's a definite plus. He's had some good interviews, and he might be being hired by a company soon, third shift, which would seriously conflict with my job. But I don't think I'm going to cry too much about that, because I have an interview tomorrow at 9:30. So wish me lots of luck. We finally have gotten Jack to stop scratching. We had a problem with him, of course, you remember, about 6 or 7 months back, where he was like just clearing all of his fur off. I mean, he was just hurting himself. Well, that stopped, but it took us a couple of weeks to realize that he had been scratching incessantly here. Of course, with the way our backyard is in the apartment complex, it has a real flea problem. Well, they managed to, I think, spray it last year and get most of it under control, but we wouldn't know for walking them in. Now, the fleas here are really nasty, as in when they get on me and they bite me, they leave marks that last. I mean, they last. And they love to eat me up. Well, I only had 1 or 2 in the last, 4 or 5 months, so I didn't really think anything about it. I figured they were dying down. And then the cat started sleeping on the toilet. No, as in he hops up on the toilet and he falls asleep. So I was like, okay, yeah, that's kind of a clue that he's being eaten up. So I went to PetSmart today, and I talked with one of the vets there and managed to get some flea medication, and told her his approximate weight, and I got flea medication for him. I administered it to him because he'd actually been out here the last couple of days, hanging out on his daddy, who, having some Apache blood in him, has a tendency to make the bugs not want to bite him. I don't know what it is, but that's usually the way it is with Indians that I know. Bugs just do not bite them. So I guess hanging out and sleeping on daddy has kept him from getting, bitten to death. And I just put it on him, and he went, what? Huh? And, oh, well, whatever, and went right back to sleep. And he's not scratching. It's awesome. He seems to feel better, and he is now deeply asleep on the floor over there. So Mama is leaving him alone. As much as I want to go and pet him and love on him because he's adorable, I'm leaving him alone. So that's all the good stuff. Well, not all of it. New computer, you know, she's running. She's on the floor. I'm not really happy about that, but she's running, and she has Windows 10, which has a couple of hitches here and there, mostly in the media player, I've noticed. But it's running. It's fantastic. And right now, the lights you're seeing playing across me are from the screensaver that I had to search to get set up, but I got set up with scrolling pictures like I even have on mine. Ramble, 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 ramble. 5 minutes worth of ramble and not really saying anything. Okay. On to the horridness that is my workplace. Like I said, I thought that it was bad before. I mean, I'm still doing the job of somebody who should be getting paid about $23 an hour and only getting paid $12. Because I'm still data, you know, I'm still entry-level clerk pay. I'm scheduling the containers, I'm tracking them, I'm tracking hot parts, and I'm doing lists and, you know, driver moves and everything else that other people besides me are supposed to be doing, and I'm still getting paid, you know, entry-level clerk pay. It's amusing. The 29th, I think it was, I want to say it's the 29th, basically, not this Friday, but the Friday before last, they called my husband and told him that he was fired. Actually, here's what make it worse, just that much worse. They emailed me to have him call them. You know, like they did when they officially suspended him. They had me call him to call them. That's how lazy this HR manager is. To tell him that he was fired. Yeah. She didn't bother to look up our number. She emailed me because it was convenient and had me call to tell him he was fired. It took them about a week and a half to come up with a really lousy excuse, which tells me that they spent that week and a half, instead of investigating, scrambling to try to fix everything so it looked like he wasn't doing what he was supposed to be doing, which means that all the paperwork that he goes by has probably been, you know, changed. So it took them a week and a half to come up with this very, very poor excuse for the reason why he's no longer working there. What's really odd about this is that there have been some major changes going on in the upper level, which most of us here at the lower level generally wouldn't know about, except the fact that I'm dealing with so many people on the upper level. It turns out the same HR lady who had me call my husband to call her has put in her 2 weeks. The manager that was over him, right about the same time he got suspended, put in his 2 weeks. Which means this last Thursday, Friday was his last day. There's a lot of corporate people crawling around everywhere. I very rarely see them because I'm all the way back in the back and who wants to come mess with me? But they've been everywhere. There's been a lot of ring around the rosy going on upstairs. It has been, like I said, it has been a nasty week. It has been a week from hell. Not just for my husband. And in many ways, not just for me. So we got this guy in who is a parts manager in California. Really nice guy. And everybody's like, oh, he's a really nice guy. He's really nice. Okay. Really nice is all well and good. I like nice people. Hopefully I am a nice person. All this last week I've not been a nice person. I've been nothing but bitchy, which everybody's been very forgiving about, especially once they found out that my husband's gone, and yes, for some reason I'm still there. I've been told to my face, you are a better person than I. And I'm like, not really. I've got to feed my kids, and if his schedule conflicts with mine and he makes more money, well, guess which way the situation's going? Right. Okay. So that kind of, I'm out of the nice category right there. And I've been supremely bitchy this week. Anybody who has happened to drop by my desk has gotten an earful, and I feel bad for all of them. But it had, I mean, we got a parts manager, supposedly, to fill in the temporary the temporary slot that we've had going. Now, we've had a couple of these. One of them is, the overall district parts manager, who can be a pain in the ass, but I get along well with him. He's very, very picky, but I get along well with him. Another guy who he's new all around, so he kind of doesn't know what's going on. So I was showing him a lot of the ropes, which I don't mind. He was doing what he needed to do, and he had a lot of help and support, and I just happened to be one of them. Well, he wasn't in the last couple of weeks. So we got this guy from California. Now, the California company or distribution assembly place is smaller than, our facility. Our facility could eat a couple of the facilities out there. We're rather big. But he came in, and he supposedly has done this before. Keyword there, supposedly. And the reason why I say supposedly is, have you ever been put in a position kind of similar to what I have, where you are doing the job and you are doing your own job and you're doing as well as you can without the tools that you're supposed to have, and you're actually keeping everything going, and then along comes this guy who has all this experience, except he acts like he doesn't, and he completely throws a monkey wrench in the works and makes your job, even at the lower level, 10 times harder. That's what happened this week. He comes in, and the first thing he does is he doesn't seem to understand how receiving works. You get it in the door, you get it on the floor, you check it, you get it received in, you put the markers on it, you get it in the shelves. All of this takes time. All of it. Now, that wouldn't be a problem. I mean, he'd give us a list every day of what containers he wanted unloaded. It's not unrealistic. Well, in many ways it is, especially with my people being in other departments most of the time. But it's, in the end, with as much ass we kick, it's not unrealistic. Until he starts ordering from our warehouse. Now, we have 2 or 3 overflow facilities. I know that I've told you guys this before, but this is actually necessary to reiterate as I tell this. We have 2 or 3 overflow facilities. These are facilities of last resort. Now, I know how to order from these facilities, and I only order from them if there is no other choice. None. If we've got something in there we have to have now, and it's not on the lot, and it's not in the door, and it's not on the floor, and it's not going to be coming in for the next couple of days. So that's what an overflow facility is. And if we order in a timely manner, we can get it within 12 to 24 hours. I always bank on 24, just in case. First of all, he doesn't know how, who, when, and where. He has to go through me for all of that. So he orders a whole bunch of crap, and I send the emails. I mean, I literally just take his email and forward it. Now, he doesn't bother to look to see who I'm contacting, how I'm contacting them, or how it's being arranged, even though he's still on the email. He does this several times throughout the week. So he has this list of containers that he wants us to knock out. Okay. Well, we're knocking them out as fast as we can. He comes down to ask me, what do I need? And I told him, I said, our hot list is completely unreliable. And he was like, well, it's supposed to be 24 hours ahead. I'm like, well, it's 48 hours behind. Well, he did figure out, so, kudos to him, he did figure out that our overflow facility registers inside of our inventory, which means whatever we send out to our overflow facilities, we receive in for them into the inventory underneath a specialized name. But it counts as our inventory. So that's been throwing off our hot list, which means that I'm relying on drivers to tell me what's hot and what's not and getting it in the doors based off of what they're telling me. And they're doing the jobs of the supervisors, all because this list isn't helping me the way it's supposed to. So he said, what do you need from me? I said, I need my people to be here in the department they're supposed to be, and I need this list fixed. Instead of taking the time to actually, and that's the thing, for as much as I work in it, I actually don't know Excel very well. I know enough to get by and to cheat, but I don't know it as well as I probably should. But even I know you can add in a column that takes the inventory that is listed for our warehouses and put them in at a negative. Just kind of negate them out. And then that will make the list accurate. This is going to take a couple of hours. I realize this. There is a lot of stuff in that inventory list. And you put that in and you make it negative, and it automatically takes it out of inventory according to this list, which would make what we have, what we do not have, more accurate. That's what I asked for. I asked for that 6 times this week. I reminded him of it twice. All I need is my people, and I need an accurate list. That's all I need from you. My people and an accurate list. Instead, he ordered 8 trailers. Okay, we're talking 53-foot trailers, packed to the brim with stuff from these warehouses. And he wants us to unload that, as well as unload these 5-6 containers a day of the oldest ones and get them knocked out. Now, if he hadn't have shown up, my plan was to knock out these containers because they're old. I mean, we have 32 of them on the lot. Let's get them knocked down. By the time I left on Friday, we were down to about 14. And this is with, 10 more came in this week. So we knocked out approximately, 20 plus containers, plus all this stuff that he had coming in. The reason why I'm so angry about what he had coming in is because we only have so much room. He is ordering from the last resort. When I asked him why, he said, well, I want to make sure when I'm not here that you all are covered. But a lot of what he's ordering we don't need. I mean, I have drivers coming up to me going, why are we putting this in the shelves? We don't need this. We don't use this. I caught him twice trying to order something for his facility in California without thinking you're in a completely different place. So I'm suspecting half the stuff we have in our shelves and on the floor he needed for California, but for some reason he got our facility in California mixed up. So we were running out of room when I left on Friday. We were out of room. And I still have 14 more containers in the lot. And more crap he ordered from the warehouse coming in. Now, the reason why I'm angry about this is because he killed our time. He ordered a whole bunch of stuff that really wasn't necessary or needed. I mean, stuff we even had on the lot. And I even pointed this out to him. Whatever it is you're ordering over here, we've got a ton of it, and get this container. His solution? Send that container to our overflow warehouse and still order it anyway. It makes no sense to me. And then, I mean, my people are running maximum overdrive, and they're already tired. My shelves are completely filled, and I have more stuff that we do need that needs to come inside the door, and I can't get it on the floor because my floor is packed. And only, so much of it is received in because we have so many truck lanes. He never did what I asked. Never. Not once. He did not fix the problems. In fact, he created more of them. And expects us to do the cleanup. He never bothered to learn what he was doing, or where he was ordering from, or even how to do that. I have people emailing me going, what is going on? And I'm having to tell them, this is not my baby. This is out of my hands. This is the guy you want to talk to. I have nothing to do with this. That's the only satisfaction I could get out of it, is that this wasn't being blamed on me. And if anybody wants to know, when I come in on Tuesday, what the fuck, I'm going to tell them, that guy. Not me. That guy. I've been so insulted this whole entire week. My husband is fired. I've been doing this job for 2.5 months, covering for a parts manager, getting paid entry clerk pay, and juggling it as best as I can, keeping the place open, keeping the hot parts coming in the door, keeping the containers coming, with a half staff, no support, and nobody else doing what they're supposed to do to make my job and my life easier. And then they bring this guy in. They say he's an expert, and then he fucks everything up. And they're expecting me to have the answers. No. What about, your expert golden boy? He's the one who fucked everything up, not me. You brought him in. I just wanted to know, what exactly did I do wrong that they felt necessary to bring this guy in? To fix whatever problems they weren't willing to tell me about. And if you're gonna bring somebody in to cover me because I'm not doing the job that I wasn't trained for and I only have half the tools for, why couldn't you bring in somebody better? He has all the tools, he has all the resources, but his communication sucks. My big thing is communicate. His big thing is, oh, well, I guess you'll figure it out. This isn't your pay grade. You know what? Fuck you. Fuck you. And I mean, everybody's like, oh, well, he's experienced, yada, yada, yada. And what? He's a nice guy. Okay, you can be a nice guy all day long. This does not make you, A, competent, B, competent, or C, competent. I'm relatively competent at the job with only half the tools, only half the resources, no ability to change anything, no authority to back anything up, and I can still make it happen. This guy almost shut us down twice because he flooded us with so much crap we didn't need. We couldn't get the stuff we do need in the doors. That's bad. And he's the guy who's experienced in this shit. And he's supposed to know what the fuck he's doing. And he's going, oh, well, me and blah, blah, blah got together and we decided to flood us with the overflow. Wonderful. We have 3 facilities specifically to take on things that we cannot take in the doors because we're not that big in that respect. And you're ordering from them when we have other options and bringing it in the door. That makes no sense. Our warehouses are last resort, and this guy was treating them like they were a freaking candy store, and he was just running through it like an addlepated 5-year-old on a freaking sugar high. I mean, that's exactly what he was doing, because he's not the one who has to deal with the mess afterwards. As in, this Friday, he was like, well, thanks everybody, this is what you all need to work on. It was so nice to be here. We don't need to work on shit. Number one, you need to work on your people skills. You need to work on your communication. And you need to learn that we've been doing just fine without you being here. And your suggestions are full of shit. And they ain't going to save nothing. We need to color code the truck lanes. We need to mark them off. Actually, our truck lanes would be fine if we didn't have you flooding them with miscellaneous bullshit going into our shelves that won't be touched for 6 months. And then to add on top of that, he was picking through it for his own facility in California. So I kind of caught the clue of why he was ordering. All that shit was so he could treat us like his own personal warehouse. Oh, so aggravating. This week was a nightmare. A complete and total nightmare. And I had to do all of this and manage to maintain my temper, which is difficult enough at the best of times, knowing these are the people who fired my husband. Yeah. So they lost a good maintenance man, but that's okay because they did that. They're going to lose me too. It's not me being petty. It's not me being an asshole. It's a fact, and I don't think they've caught that yet. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people in upper management wondering why I'm still there. That may be the reason why they brought this guy in, because why is she still here? She could leave at any time. I'll leave when I have a choice, or don't really have a choice. I will leave when the hours conflict and his pay is better, which are things that will likely happen. That's when I'll leave. And they won't be able to claim that I messed anything up. They won't be able to claim I did anything out of spite. They won't be able to claim I didn't do my job. They won't be able to claim a whole host of things because I haven't changed anything I've done since I've walked through the door. I still am perfectionist. I still do my job to the best of my abilities, and they've never been able to say otherwise. They probably will when I'm gone. They'll probably find a way to try to smear my name, but that's okay. I mean, right now, they're doing a good enough job fucking it up all by themselves. They certainly don't need my help at this point. I just find it interesting that my husband was fired, and there seems to have been some type of fallout in the upper echelons, as in major hardcore fallout. There's been a lot of good people I know that company has fired or gotten rid of, most likely because they're good at their jobs, and eventually they'll be like, what the fuck is this, when it comes to anything, and could get them in serious trouble. So they get rid of them. They can't really afford to get rid of me, but I'm pretty sure if they had the chance, they would take that option. That's just the kind of company this is. So I've enjoyed my last 2 days off. I'm going to enjoy tomorrow. I am going to enjoy my interview tomorrow, and I am going to enjoy waiting for hubby's call to see what is going to be happening with him. And I'm going to spend my time with my husband, and then help my children take care of their homework, and then get prepared to walk in on Tuesday and kick ass like I normally do. I'll be a little bit more rested, so I probably won't be half as bitchy, but I'm just going to keep in mind how this company behaves and how it treats its people. I mean, that's really the only thing I can do, is walk in and take care of the people that I need to take care of to the best of my abilities, and just not give a shit about what's going on in the upper ranks, since they obviously don't seem to care about the rest of us. I feel better. And that's me and my boring life all caught up for you guys. I am hoping to actually write something either tonight or tomorrow. Most likely it'll be tomorrow, crammed in amongst everything else that I've got to do. And I'm going to be trying to catch up with a lot of my posts and entries that I've made over the last 6 months. Ye gods. Can't promise it'll all be done. And gosh knows, even though I'm caught up now, tomorrow I could be way, way, way behind. We already know how that goes. But until I do my next post, which hopefully will be a little bit sooner than it has been the last couple of weeks, until I do my next post, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, know that I always love you, and I will talk to you guys soon.